Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about ZILLIQA. ZILLIQA has corrected down after the event in Miami. Yeah, so as expected, pretty much we have come down. Buy the rumors, sell the news. We talked about it. We talked about this ascending, broadening wedge, which is a bearish pattern, and everything worked out pretty much. I warned you that after the 2nd of April you could see such a drop. And when did it actually start? Well, it already started on the 1st of April. This is what we typically see. I talked about that as well, that when these events happen, typically you see an overheated market before that event, and 1 or 2 days before that you start to see the drop. And that is again what happened. And again, just really want to stress that out because it is a learning for a lot of people. For me, it was originally a learning as well. When years ago I had a similar situation, you have these events, you're totally hyped, and you think it will never drop again. You know, the FOMO kicks in and stuff like that. But it is pretty much, I mean, not in 100% of the cases, but really from what I observed, I would say in 90% of the cases, you get the buy the rumors, sell the news. And typically after such an event, in this case that Miami event about the Metapolis metaverse, you get another great entry point. So for me, I took my first entry point here just around 13 cents. I think it was a bit higher when we dropped down to that support level here, that previous high, and we started to go off again. That is when I started or entered my first position again. I was never in ZILLIQA, so I got ZILLIQA pretty much now at a, where were we? Around a 42% discount from the high. That was here at 23 cents. That's fine for me. Yeah, it was only the first of various positions, and I'm dollar cost averaging into ZILLIQA here. I waited until the overheated market stopped, but this is, as I said, only the first position. I wanted to have a foot in the door, and I told you in the last video that I think we could even see lower prices. Therefore, this is only my first DCA position, so dollar cost average position, and I'm happy to sit it out if we drop a little bit lower. And I think we can drop lower. I think we can even drop below 10 cents, but bear in mind the 10-cent level will be a very important support. Now, why do we find support here? Well, first of all, you have the previous high around the corner here. So typically what you see when you come down to previous support level or resistance levels, you find this as support. So that is what we can see exactly here in this area, around 12.3 cents at the moment. But the level is holding quite well, even though Bitcoin is currently fighting with 42.7K. The level is holding quite well, and ZILLIQA in the last few days did hold really well as well, despite Bitcoin dropping quite strongly. The ZILLIQA drop happened a few days before that, so therefore I think it's holding fairly well. But if we lose this current level, then I would say the level is pretty much, yeah, it must be here, that 12.2, 12.3 cent level. Let me adjust it down a little bit. Here, 12.3 cents. If we lose this level, then I think you're gonna go down quite strongly. Where could we go down to? Well, let's add the VPVR indicator to the chart. That will help us understand where are the next key support levels. And the next level would be, so first of all, this here is an area of trade. This is where we currently find support, but the next major level will be around 10 cents. That hasn't happened or hasn't changed from the previous video. This zone here, and I would just call it the 10-cent level because this is a very psychologically important support level as well. So I think when you drop below this, you see the 10-cent level. We had resistance here, we had support here, and when you drop below that, then we're going to go to the 200-day moving average at 7.5 cents. Below that, we've got the 50-day moving average at 6.7, and below that, we're probably going to re-enter my target area here. This is the target area where we talked about, right? This is generally the area between the 88.7% Fib level and the 88.7 and the 78.6, where usually you see altcoins turning around, and that happened. Yeah, is the low already in? I mean, for ZILLIQA, this was a clear impulse in my opinion. Yeah, and I think we're coming down now in a 3-wave move, in a correction. How far can the correction come down? Well, in my opinion, it typically would come down to the 50% Fib level. Now that was reached 13.2 cents. That was what I talked about, that this level needs to be reached at a minimum, as a minimum in this correction, but ideally you would get down to 10.9 cents or even 7.6. So these are, from a Fibonacci level point of view, very, very important level. And if I had to give really my personal vision of where I think this price is going to go down to, I would say we're going to see the 7.6 cents. The reason for that is that this here would be a wave one, first wave one of this new beginning of an uptrend. And this here is a wave two, and a wave two would normally in the crypto market, altcoin market, come down to the 61.8. The minimum is already reached, the 0.5 Fib level, yeah, 13.2 cents. We talked about this level in previous videos. This is also around about the area where I added my first ZILLIQA position to my portfolio, only with a smaller percentage. But the ideal level would be here between 10.9 cents and actually 5.6. It's hard to specify it further at the moment, but yeah, usually we're going to see the lower Fib levels, yeah. And the 7.6 cent level for me is very likely, because this is actually, or at least 61.8 at 10.9, or the 78.6 at 7.6 cents, because this is also where the 200-day moving average is running, yeah. So from a Fib point of view, I think these are the levels that I'm watching out for. As I said, the minimum for that correction is already done, and therefore I added my first position, but the downside potential is still very much there. And what does the momentum indicator tell us? Well, we can see here clearly that we've seen a bearish crossover on the daily chart. Now, we don't have a short signal yet on the momentum indicator, but this is already a good indication that we are coming down lower, unless you see this changing on the shorter time frames. And here we already see the 8-hour chart reducing negative momentum, and the 4-hour chart moving sideways pretty much. So not much to see here. Not much surprise, actually, it's moving sideways, because also the price is just heading sideways at the moment. So really, you have this area here between 12.3 cents, which is very, very important, yeah, where we need to, it's actually not 12.3. Let me just make it a bit larger. So it's depending on how, prices are too dynamic. So let's just call it 12 cents is the support level. So you've got 12 cents here, and you've got here the resistance at around 13.5 cents, yeah. So in this range, when we break out of this range, there will be movement. Until then, until then, we don't really know what the market is deciding. My primary expectation is that we're coming a little bit lower here for ZILLIQA. And another reason for that is that we were very, very much overbought. Yeah, and even here, for example, on the weekly chart, we were overbought, and we've only just come out of the overbought range again, yeah. The 4-day chart as well, we've only just come out. I think this means we're going to drop a little bit lower. We're still fairly high on the weekly and on the 4-day chart. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where the low is. Nobody knows where the low is. We can only use Fibonacci levels with probabilities to really give us an idea of where the price might actually land. And yeah, I gave you these key levels, and also here the key breakout points for the next movements. And my primary expectation is that we have not seen the low of this current correction yet, so we might come down a little bit lower. However, personally, I'm not trying to chase the lowest low. I think here I'm happy with this. Personally, I did my research about the project, happy about the project, happy that I already grabbed my first position at around 42% discount. Happy to grab more at a lower price. Yeah, I personally never buy when a price or when a cryptocurrency is overbought. Typically, I like to buy them when they are oversold, and this one here was oversold pretty much here at the 4-hour when I bought it. Yeah, it just was coming out of it again. But again, I only bought it with a lower percentage. Now with my next positions, I'm gonna wait until we drop further, probably into the 1-digit cent level. So meaning everything below 10 cents. Yeah, that's my view about ZILLIQA. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.